And we're happy to have Andy Schwab, the owner of the Fintry Queen, on what, I'm sorry, I find it a bit sad that now that old ship is for sale. You've been trying for so long to reinvigorate its place on the lake, but
There are tour boats operating from cities all over the world. It's a standard tourism type attraction, and this Fintry Queen is one of the most historic, oldest tourist attractions in the Okanagan.
people that have never that never were there, that got a chance to have a meal on it,
Right.
go for an evening tour. What was it like in its heyday?
Well, when people are on it, they're focused on their families and their kids running around who are all safe, and they're just enjoying the Okanagan, the splendor of the landscape, and thinking back through history what it must have been like, and they're just enjoying themselves. We used to go for an hour and a half or so on a standard cruise, and once a week we would go under the bridge when it lifted.
Yeah.
And we did weddings and banquets, conferences, business groups. We carried 325 people.
So you leased it for a while, then you became the owner, and that was what, about 13 years or so ago?
Right.
You haven't been able to get it to resume that role. Why not?
Well, a lot of the difficulty is that the waterfront is now so defined, right? In most cases, it's all public parks along the waterfront in the municipal areas, and as a commercial operator, it's very difficult to convince the cities that you need to get in there, right?
And offer some part of your parkland foreshore for a place for the Fintry Queen to dock.
For commercial business. In the last year or so, I've been trying to get a society formed so that a society would take it on, and it would kick back hundreds of thousands of dollars to the community every year, but I still have difficulty getting traction for that too.
So it's for sale, and I guess your hope is that someone picks it up at, what is it, $550,000, that shares your dream.
That's right, to create that ferry service and make that happen, or you could turn it into a floating restaurant and service it by smaller boats. You could attach it to shore somewhere, as like the West Bank Yacht Club has one of the original ferry boats, and it's been their yacht club building for years, right? So it could become a floating restaurant somewhere, or in the Shuswap, they have the Shark Shack, which is basically a floating restaurant and store. I mean, I believe it would be a great addition for the yacht club to have a base out on the lake. Like, once you're on this lake in a boat, there's nowhere really entertaining to go, in a sense.
So it's been on Facebook for what,
Several days now.
And getting any nibbles?
We're getting a lot of interest, so it's going to be very interesting, and from all kinds of different diverse groups, so you never know. If they have some land or waterfront somewhere that they could bring the boat into and run it from that location, it's obviously, as a business, much more viable if it has a place to dock, but still it would be viable just floating around the lake, going from one point of the lake to the other on a daily basis, right? Picking up people everywhere.
And if people are calling it old and run down, it's not run down. It sounds to me like you've got it in good shape.
It needs a paint job on the outside. It hasn't been painted in 10 years on the outside, but we've been painting the decks and other things to keep it in good shape, and mechanically it's like brand new.
And the hull is not degraded?
We've non-destructive tested the hull with ultrasound and stuff over the last couple of years. It specs out like brand new, and all the engines, the electrical systems, all that, sprinkler systems, all that stuff is brand new, 2008, 2010, all up to code.
All right.
So,
well, let us know if you find a buyer.
Thank
all right?
you very much.
Thanks, Andy, and thank you for watching Kelowna Now.